Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks, Ms. Dunham, for your work, for being here. The regulatory impact analysis for the final NSPS rule discusses the 2010 social cost of carbon estimates developed by the administration's interagency working group. And this year, that working group released revised social cost of carbon estimates, and those are being used in a lot of EPA proposals, so they're very significant. During all your work at EPA, have you participated, or do you now, in that interagency working group work on the social cost of carbon?
We have folks in my office who are part of the technical group that goes into the modeling context.
So your office certainly participates in that?
It participates in the development of the analysis and the modeling.
Okay. And personally, have you attended meetings, provided materials analysis during the development of those social cost of carbon estimates?
I've certainly attended some meetings. There's a lot of different meetings on these, but I've certainly attended some meetings that have discussed the updated social cost of carbon estimates, and particularly with respect to the technical work and the modeling and some of the differences.
Where I'm going is, to anyone outside the administration, including me, this is like a black box. And we've been asking a number of legitimate questions through at least 2 letters about that process and about the participants, and have just gotten no information yet. So are you aware of others who have been involved in that process?
Sorry, I'm certainly aware of your interest in the subject and knowing more about it. And so what I can do is make sure that I take that interest back in learning more about what the process was.
Okay. Specifically, can you ensure that our inquiries are substantively addressed, including with a list of agency officials who've participated in that social cost of carbon process?
I can certainly take your interest in getting that back to the agency.
Okay. I'm not so much concerned about that. I'm concerned about the other direction. Will we get anything back from EPA or the administration?
Yeah, and that's, it's not my role at the agency to speak for that, but I can take it back and your interest in it.
Well, I would specifically ask you to get those legitimate questions answered, including a list of agency officials who have participated.
Yes, sir.
What officials, since you've been somewhat involved in the process, what officials do you know of who have participated directly?
Well, you know, I will tell you the discussions that I have been mostly involved with were really the technical and the modelers and things like that. So it's not, you know, I know you're asking for a broader set of questions, right, and frankly, you know, would like to defer to the agency officials who are.
Well, since you're the witness, I'd just like to ask for you to supplement this record with a list of all officials that you know of who have participated in that.
Okay.
Great. Ms. Dunham, a number of us are a little concerned about the very sort of backdoor way EPA has gone at regulating methane through these lawsuits that were filed, including basically regulating it as a co-benefit. But the methane reductions at the end of the day are on the order of 90 times greater than the reductions of hazardous air pollutants that the rule directly seeks to regulate. Do you have any concern about that, sort of the tail wagging the dog?
Well, I think for a number of sectors, methane is co-emitted with volatile organic compounds. And frankly, it's I think and a number of the technologies that have been used and are used in this regulation that capture both volatile organic compounds also capture methane. So I think using this sort of model of capturing the methane as a co-benefit is a helpful one in terms of using this very valuable natural resource that is being vented to the atmosphere without these technologies.
Okay, if I can have an additional 30 seconds. It appears EPA is also on the verge of getting sued again, probably in an attempt to force the agency into additional regulations that more directly regulate methane. As we speak, what are EPA's plans in regard to additional rulemakings on methane?
Yeah, again, particularly with respect to the oil and gas sector, that is one of the issues that we have under us that we've been petitioned on for reconsideration, and so we're continuing to evaluate all those issues.
Final question.
For the record, could I just ask the witness to define the word petitioned, what she means by that, so that it's clear to people following this?
Oh, yeah, again, and this may be we can get back to you with a more formal legal definition of it, but we have petitions for reconsideration of issues under the rule, as well as petitions for judicial review of the rule. But if you want a more sort of fuller explanation of both the petitions as well as the use of that word, we'd be happy.
No, that's close enough.
Okay.
Final question. In any of that future work, will the EPA commit to using actual measurement data from actual sites like the University of Texas study? I'm not suggesting that should be the entire universe, which would seem to be qualitatively different and better if it's done right than modeling, et cetera.
We absolutely agree that the more actual measurement data there is that's available, we want to use that to improve our estimates. And I'll just point out that there are a number of studies in addition to the University of Texas one, and including the now 2 years worth of greenhouse gas reporting program data that actually requires all facilities to report emissions to the agency. That's another extremely valuable source of data for use in updating our estimates and making sure that they're based on the best available science.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.